account for the linguistic, cultural, and institutional realities of Saudi universities. This is the problem our study has addressed. Our objective was to develop and validate a bilingual Arabic-English instrument that measure four dimensions, four key dimensions: awareness and usage, perceived benefits, adoption barriers, and opportunities. In the methodology, here is how we conduct the study. We used a cross-sectional pilot design, which is the standard first phase before large-scale study. That process began with expert context validation. A specialist reviewed the instrument for clarity, relevance, and cultural appropriateness in both Arabic and English. Then we collected data from 35 participants across four major Saudi universities. Firstly, King Saud University, then King Abdulaziz University, Al Qura University, and Taiba University. These universities were selected to represent geographic institutional diversity across the kingdom, because one of them in the middle of Saudi Arabia and the other in the western area. Finally, we analyzed the data using internal consistent test. Let's go with the psychometric result. The psychometric results were very encouraging. We measured reliability using Krobach alpha, which is the standard metric for internal consistency. A value above 0.70 is considered acceptable. All four constructs exceed this threshold. Adoption barriers scored the highest at 0.85, followed by opportunities and improvement at 0.81. Awareness and usage, as you see, scored 0.75, and perceived benefit scored also 0.7. This result confirmed that instrument measures its intent, construct consistently and reliably. Strong foundation for proceeding to a full-scale study. Let's go with the visibility indicators. Beyond the reliability, we also assessed the practical visibility of the instrument. The completion rate exceeded 90%, meaning almost of all participants who started the survey finished it. This indicated the questions were clear and not burdened. The average time to complete the survey runs from 16 to 23 minutes, which is very manageable for academic stuff. Perhaps most importantly, bilingual format offering questions in both Arabic and English significantly enhanced comprehension across different roles and background with the universities. Uh, the practical implications, what to do with these findings, mean first, universities need to standardize data management protocols without clear institutional guidelines. Open data efforts remain fragmented and inconsistent. Second, we must address the cultural and incentive dimension. Many researchers don't share data because there is no formal recognition or reward for doing so. Institutions need to change this. Third, is an exciting direction. Integrating the AI tools can dramatically improve how data discovered, curated, and made accessible. This is fully aligned with the Saudi Arabia National Digital Transformation Agenda. Finally, to conclude, this pilot study confirms that our bilingual instrument is a psychometrically sound and ready for large-scale deployment. Our next step is a main study with approximately uh, 291 participants drawn from a broader range of Saudi academic institutions. We will also apply advanced structure equation modeling, specifically exploratory and confirmatory factors analysis, to further validate the instrument's dimension. We believe this instrument will provide a reliable, culturally appropriate tools for assessing and advancing open data adoption across Saudi higher education. Thank you everyone for your attention, and I'm happy to take any question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Anas, for the presentation. We will now open the floor for the question and answer session. If anyone has questions, you may raise your hand or indicate in the chat box. If there are no questions, allow me to ask a question. Okay, so Mr. Anas, based on your pilot study findings, what outcomes do you anticipate for the main study later on? How would you picture the findings for the main study?
Uh, According to the items, I'm planning to get around 291 of participants from different university. The four university from King Saud University and Al Qura and uh, Taiba, and all of this university is in different geographical uh, site in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So my plan is to get around 300 participants, but according to the items, it's maximum 291.
91. All right, thank you for the response. Good
Thank
luck
you.
for the main study later on.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so now we will now proceed with the presentation for paper ID CHAs 12 entitled Perceived Healthiness and Purchase Behavior from TikTok Food Reviews, a study on Generation Z. Please pay attention to the presentation video. Please welcome.
Thank you for watching this presentation. My name is Tung Wen, and I will present my paper titled Perceived Healthiness and Purchase Behavior from TikTok Food Reviews. a study on Generation Z. Here are the parts of my presentation. It has 8 parts. So first, I'm going to start with some background context on my topic. So social media such as TikTok can play a role in how young people access information and make decisions. In particular, food review content on TikTok is really popular among Gen Z, whose behavior is under digital influence. However, there are some research gaps in this topic. The first gap is that many studies found certain factors on TikTok to be influential on Gen Z's purchase intention, but it's unclear if these factors can influence their actual purchase decisions. The second gap is that although food healthiness is really important, we still don't know how Gen Z form their perceived healthiness and if they consider the healthiness in purchasing food. So to fill in these gaps, I have my research purpose, which is to see if certain factors can influence purchase behavior or perceived healthiness among Gen Z. The literature review has 4 parts. The first one is conceptualization of perceived healthiness, and the remaining 3 parts are about relationships between variables, which comes with hypothesis development. So let's go into the first part. Since experts and consumers define their own, have their own definitions of healthiness, we can conclude that perceived healthiness is a subjective concept. There are also different definitions of perceived healthiness, but to make it applicable and measurable, this study defines it simply as consumers' subjective evaluation of how healthy a food is, which ranges from unhealthiness to healthiness. Before going into the relationship between factors and perceived healthiness, I want to explain what internal and external factors are. So in general food context, internal factors are naturally present within consumers, while external factors lie in a product's characteristics and how it is presented. But since this is an online food review context, factors investigated in this study are directly related to the content. So I have 4 internal factors: age, gender, nationality, watching frequency, and 4 external factors: food, reviewer, restaurant, and entertainment. Studies suggest that internal factors can influence perceived healthiness in different ways. For example, older people and women are more critical of food healthiness, while nationality and frequent exposure may lead to different perception as well. And we have the first hypothesis, but divided into smaller ones, 4 smaller ones for each internal factor. Meanwhile, external factors give and organize information on how healthy the food is so that viewers can have their judgment. And that makes it the second hypothesis for internal factors. The relationship between perceived healthiness and purchase behavior has 2 cases: when food is healthy versus unhealthy. If the food is perceived as healthy, people are more likely to buy it, which gives us the third hypothesis that perceived healthiness can significantly influence purchase behavior. However, even when food is unhealthy, people still buy it. But in this case, for other purchase values of the food, such as the taste, which can be portrayed by external factors. So that brings us to the final relationship between external factors and purchase behavior. So these 4 factors can influence purchase by making the food seems delicious or appealing to viewers. as you can see. And so viewers can have their own judgment. And based on this, we have the final hypothesis, which is that external factors can significantly influence purchase behavior. Now, if we combine the three relationships from the literature review, we can get one single relationship among external factors, perceived healthiness, and purchase behavior. Again, there are two cases for this. When food is perceived as healthy, external factors can reinforce this perception. So perceived healthiness is the mediator. But when food is unhealthy, external factors can portray other purchase values to make up for the unhealthiness. So in the second case, external factors will have a direct influence on purchase behavior. So this theoretical model summarizes and visualizes everything in the literature review. Moving on to method, my method was quantitative with a survey. I first did a literature review and only got 7 items for external factors. So I did exploratory interviews with 15 people and got 26 items in total for external factors, which I put on a 5-point scale. Perceived healthiness was on a 3-point scale and purchase behavior was on a 5-point frequency scale. I collected my data in December 2024 with Google Forms by conveniently distributing them on social media. I got 153 valid responses and analyzed them in SPSS. First, I did descriptive analysis to check the normality of scale items. Then I did reliability analysis and had to remove 4 items. Next, I did comparison analysis to investigate the internal factors with perceived healthiness. And finally, regression analysis for the relationships among external factors, perceived healthiness, and purchase behavior. The p-value needed to be smaller than 0.05 to indicate significance and 0.1 for weak evidence. So in my findings, most of the respondents were 18 to 22-year-old females. The majority of them watched TikTok food reviews monthly, weekly, or daily, but only bought food monthly or less than once a month, and 32% of them never did. The overall perceived healthiness was below average, meaning that the respondents see food on TikTok reviews as unhealthy. In comparison analysis, results show that gender was the only internal factor to have a marginally significant difference in perceived healthiness. For regression analysis, results show that none of the external factors significantly influence perceived healthiness. Perceived healthiness also did not significantly predict purchase behavior. And among external factors, restaurant was the only one to significantly predict purchase behavior. And adding perceived healthiness did not improve the last model, so it was not the mediator. So these findings have addressed the research purpose. The first point is that Gen Z perceive food on TikTok review content as unhealthy, with a marginal difference in gender, as females treating the food as more unhealthy than the males. None of the external factors influence perceived healthiness, and this might be because that Gen Z just does not seek for this information or prioritize this information in food review content. TikTok also did influence Gen Z's purchase to a certain extent, since 68% of the respondents reported buying food, but restaurant being the only influential factor suggested that Gen Z emphasized the overall dining experience and not just the food. Perceived healthiness was not influential in any way, which goes with the finding that TikTok food review content is perceived as unhealthy. So their food purchase might be driven more by other factors. This study has some implications. First, it contributed to existing literature by providing new items for content-related factors through exploratory interviews. And with restaurant as the only significant predictor, this points to a potential direction of exploring Gen Z's priorities in watching social media reviews. Second, this study suggested an ethical need to promote healthier food on TikTok, while content creators and food businesses can focus more on promoting the dining environment to attract Gen Z. So to summarize the study, despite being an audience of TikTok food reviews, Gen Z perceives the featured food as unhealthy. Their purchase decisions are not based on healthiness, but on other factors, such as the dining environment. This study also has some limitations, such as brief interviews, small sample size, and convenience sampling. So future research could include more in-depth interviews, larger sample size, and more random sampling. These are the references for my study, and thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. We will now open the floor for the question and answer session. Any questions? All right, okay. So, according to Ms. Nurain Abdul Malik, the question is, how was the TikTok video selected?
Thank you for the question. So my study was uh, conducted using primary research by doing survey on people who claimed that they watched food reviews on TikTok already. So I didn't really use any TikTok videos as demonstration in my study. So thank you for your question.
So, just any random videos about food, is it?
I mean, I didn't use any TikTok videos to like demonstrate to my viewers to the viewers. Like I just asked them if they watch food reviews on TikTok, and if they said yes, then they became a respondent for my survey.
Okay. So, basically based on their own experience of watching TikTok videos before.
Yes, that's correct.
I see. All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. We will now watch the video from the third presenter entitled Code Blue Simulation Training Effects on Nurse Self-Confidence and Satisfaction. Kindly pay attention to the presentation video. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Very good morning. I'm Siti Rajaa binti Said Sultan, and then I will present this case study on Code Blue stimulation training, effect on nurses' self-confidence and satisfaction. Dr. Rosnani is my supervisor. I'm from UiTM Bertam campus, Malaysia. Okay, as we know, Code Blue event represent life-threatening emergency that demand immediate or coordinated action to prevent cardiac or respiratory arrest related to death. To improve patient outcome and reduce preventable mortality, healthcare institutes have implemented innovations such as rapid response team, and standardized code blue protocol, and then code blue stimulation training. This is to enhance nurses' response time, clinical judgment, and team coordination during the critical situation. To design and implement a standard code blue for RRT and code blue management, we additional CBS program or code blue stimulation program that focus more on staff responsibility. Okay, I'm working in a Gleneagles Jerudong Park Medical Center in Brunei. It's a cardiac heart center. So in every year, the procedure for cardiac procedure is approximately 2,000 per year per case, and then angioplasty itself is about 600 per year. So as we know, the procedure is high for cardiac, so the patient can arrested at any time, especially if left main stem or LAD is involved. So the hospital create code blue management with a code blue drill and then a rapid response team, and then I was in charge to develop code blue stimulation program. Okay, code blue stimulation program, the challenges and important is unfamiliarity of with equipment, supply, and team synergy, because the staff is unaware what to do. So, and then so this program or this training is using a guideline from AHA, American Heart Association 2022. So 2023 and 2025 also. And then on 2022 guideline, 90% of cardiac patients died because of, but if we do immediate cardiopulmonary resuscitation, it can double or triple the survival rate. By implementing guideline, code blue team will increase the reduce the number of mortality. Okay, stimulation-based education is a safe practice for complex cases. This is by Jeffrey 2005, and then by AHA 2013 recommendation also. They put as early response time 1 minute for CPR and 2 minutes for defibrillation. This code blue stimulation is emphasized on early response and code blue activation. So the methodology study design was mixed methods in co-explanatory design, which entail gathering and analyzing data in two separate phases, first quantitative and then qualitative. The setting is done only in one center, Gleneagles Jerudong Park, Brunei Darussalam. The unit was involved is in ICU, CCU or coronary care unit, general ward, and then SOC is specialist outpatient clinic. CVL is a cardiovascular lab, daycare ward, and then cardiac rehab, and then also operation theatre. The sample size is 140 participants. So we divide into two groups, 70 with CBS intervention, that means it's code blue intervention, and then the 70 is with non-intervention. So we divide in one group, we have a 5 to 6 member. And then for qualitative, I choose a 14 informant from the CBS intervention group. So population is a staff nurse who work at Gleneagles JPMC Brunei Darussalam. Okay, as we know, when the critical situation occur, the staff mostly is they confused with their roles, and then if they're confused with their role, it will reduce the patient. We will decline patient viability. So to reduce this one, we have to give them the rules of what they need to do, and then the equipment, the training, so they know what to do during the critical situation. And then by practicing the code blue drill, they will do reflection also. Okay, so we need immediate CPR, rapid defibrillation, and then clear team dynamic. So the time frame is 0 to 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay, so GPMC, Jerudong Park, Gleneagles Jerudong Park Medical Center, volume of a cardiac procedure is about 2,000 per year, and then baseline assessment done that although the nurses have AHA certification, example like BLS or SLS, but they still lack of confidence when the pressure, high pressure task is occur. So we did a survey, and then 68.8% of the staff identified that Code Blue drill is a vital for preparedness. And then on the other side, they're okay to do bringing the crash cart, just compression, but in operating the defibrillator, provide ESPA and scribing, they still need help on that. So by using a stimulation program, it will increase their confidence in these three. Okay, as we know, this stimulation Code Blue stimulation program is using AD stimulation framework. What is AD stimulation framework? Is A is analyze. So during analysis and design development, we get the expert panel or expert person foundation. I'm also involved with we using Delphi technique. So we choose the facilitator and then the expert panel to give a feedback on the how to develop the Code Blue program. Okay, and then we divide the training on the 4 station. Okay, we got a skill station. So the station 1 is a cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So the assessor will observe how the staff doing the CPR, the depth, the rate, and then ECG. Okay, interpret the ECG, and then with the management, and then after that we have airway insertion, and then together with administer or preparation and administer IV medication during emergency situation. So the group develop the scenario-based design. So this scenario will mimic what happened in the unit. Example, in ICU, what type of cases, and then after that, what the scenario. So it will be like the staff know how to react based on their experience also. You will synchronize. So, and then after that, the participant will develop one team, or we call a Code Blue team, that consists of 5 to 6 person. So one become a TL, one become of CPR, and then one become of medication. So the documentation. So this task they will do during the Code Blue drill. And then during Code Blue drill, they will be observed by the assessor. And then after the Code Blue drill, they will be evaluated. We will do reflective debriefing. This is two-way communication to get a feedback from the staff and also assessor in what they are doing, what they can do better. So for execution assessment, I'm using Kirkpatrick framework. So we will see the face of our explainer. Okay, this is the implementation program. So we divide this the observation under 3: clinical practice that consists of 9 elements, and then communication consists of 5, and then competency consists of 5 also. Okay, this is the impact of Code Blue stimulation training. It's a bridging the confidence gap. So from the feedback that I get from the staff, 4.74, they are happy with the instructor effectiveness. Okay, they report higher satisfaction level with instructional style, and then they're happy to learn in the simulation. Okay, this was elevated the learner autonomy, and then they will mastery the theoretical content. Okay, so pre-training, 92.3% unable to perform accordingly to the Code Blue drill, and then post Code Blue simulation program, 100% compliant. But I can still have a doubt on that because of most of the staff they have experience in handling code blue. So they went for BLS, and then they had code blue drill. So really cannot measure the bias about is it because they have pre-education before they get this code blue stimulation training, although they're in the control group. So in 2025, in the real code blue happened in GJ, we have 56 code blue, and then 52%, 52 patients have ROS. Okay, so we know that it's about 89% that succeeds in the code blue event. So the Triple C evaluation success is measured across the 3 domains: clinical practice, communication, and then competency. So our aim is to get CPR less than 1 minute, and then defibrillation is less than 2 minutes for shockable rhythm. So the staff is been trained how to see whether the patient need defib or not. If they are not really ECG, we will use AED mode. So most of the staff that I counter, they're afraid to handle the defibrillator because of the fear of unknown. So after the training, after the stimulation, they feel confident in using the defibrillator. Okay, the stimulation engine built as using i-LEdHS instructional design model. Okay, have a clear objective, standardized scenario. We use a VTVF, PEA, and Assisto with the facilitator guidance. Okay, structured observation, response time monitoring, and reflective debriefing. This will increase their skill mastery, team coordination, emotional regulation. As we know that during this high-risk situation, they will feel depressed, or they feel confused. And then we get a clinical judgment, a clinical decision, rapid clinical decision. Okay, in the code blue, there is no second chances. Stimulation ensure the first response is the right one. So one thing about stimulation program, the staff can practice in the safe environment. It won't jeopardize the patient. So by the feedback they get, they will increase their confidence in practice. So this also benefit them in the real event. Okay, this is my reference. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, and thank you for the presentation. So now we will now open the floor for the question and answer session. Is there any question? Okay, we have a question from Ms. Nurain. The question is, do you think the CBS program should be an extension of the current SOP, or should it replace the current SOP altogether?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Thank you for having me today. Okay, since I'm a nurse educator in clinical Jerudong Park, I think it's really important to include code blue stimulation program in the SOP, because of we know that the staff went for ACLS, BLS, but the fear of handling the situation is really high. You know, they are really fierce because they just went for 2 days. If you have this program, and then after that will be follow with code blue drill in the unit, so I can see the staff is really improve their confidence in managing the cases. This can be achieved because on my the Gleneagle Jerudong Park statistic, we have 56 of code blue, but we have 52 of patient, 52 cases who have ROS. So when I observe, if they know how to react to the critical situation, they're confident, they can really put the patient in reduce the complication of brain hypoxic like that, extra, etc. like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now let's continue with our fourth video titled AI Friendship Syndrome, Risiko Kebergantungan Emosi dan Masa Depan Hubungan Manusia from Dr. Mahira binti Masdin. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera kepada rakan-rakan seperjuangan. Hari ini kami akan membentangkan satu kajian konseptual yang sangat relevan dengan kepesatan teknologi masa kini, iaitu AI Friendship Syndrome, risiko kebergantungan emosi dan masa depan hubungan manusia. Saya Mahira binti Masdin daripada Pusat Penataran Ilmu dan Bahasa UMS bersama-sama dengan rakan saya iaitu Dr. Lailawati Madlan daripada Fakulti Psikologi dan Kerja Sosial UMS serta Cik Brenda Oliveira Weljomaker daripada Pusat Penataran Ilmu dan Bahasa UMS akan mengupas bagaimana entiti maya mula mengambil tempat dalam ruang emosi manusia. Kecerdasan buatan AI bukan lagi sekadar alat produktiviti. Ia telah berevolusi menjadi pendamping sosial yang mampu meniru interaksi manusia dengan sangat meyakinkan. Fenomena ini mencetuskan persoalan mendalam tentang perubahan radikal dalam cara manusia memenuhi keperluan emosi. Penggunaan aplikasi seperti replika telah mewujudkan hubungan pseudososial yang mencabar definisi keaslian sesebuah hubungan. Di kawasan bandar, AI companions kini menjadi solusi segera bagi individu yang berdepan dengan keterasingan sosial dan juga kesunyian. Melihat kepada konteks di Malaysia, statistik menunjukkan lonjakan penggunaan internet berdasarkan kecerdasan buatan AI yang amat signifikan, iaitu mencecah 89% pada tahun 2025. AI bukan lagi teknologi asing, malah telah menjadi rutin harian bagi tujuan produktiviti maupun sokongan emosi. Golongan generasi Z khususnya mula beralih kepada AI untuk menguruskan kesejahteraan emosi mereka. Namun di sebalik angka yang besar ini, wujud jurang kajian tempatan yang serius mengenai kesan emosi dan sosial teknologi ini terhadap masyarakat kita, khususnya di Malaysia. Masalah utama yang dikenal pasti adalah risiko kebergantungan yang tidak terkawal. Adakah kita sekadar mencari penawar kesunyian sementara atau kita sedang meruntuhkan struktur kekeluargaan tradisional? Pakar memberi amaran bahawa hubungan dengan mesin boleh menghakis empati manusia kerana ia menawarkan pendampingan tanpa perlu usaha tolak ansur. Inilah yang dipanggil sebagai AI Friendship Syndrome atau AIFS, yang mana satu keadaan di mana ikatan emosi dengan entiti maya mula mengganggu identiti dan keseimbangan sosial individu. Adakah ini bakal menjadi norma baharu yang sukar dikawal? Bagi menangani isu ini, penulisan ini menetapkan 3 objektif utama. Pertama, mensintesiskan konsep AIFS melalui lensa teori psikologi dan komunikasi. Kedua, menghuraikan faktor-faktor yang mendorong kebergantungan emosi ini. Akhir sekali, menghasilkan satu kerangka konseptual yang komprehensif untuk menjelaskan implikasi AIFS dalam konteks unik budaya dan masyarakat Malaysia. Metodologi penulisan ini adalah berasaskan conceptual integrative review yang menyaring literatur akademik dan laporan industri terkini termasuk data daripada Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia bagi memastikan konteks tempatan yang kuat. Apa yang membezakan penulisan ini adalah prosedur analisis tematik yang melalui 4 fasa sistematik. Kami tidak hanya melihat kepada data global, tetapi juga melakukan kontekstualisasi Malaysia untuk mengenal pasti bagaimana AIFS berinteraksi dalam norma budaya kita di Malaysia yang unik. Bagi memahami mengapa manusia boleh terjatuh hati kepada algoritma, kita menggunakan 4 tiang teori utama sebagaimana yang terpapar dalam Rajah 2 Ilustrasi Kerangka Teoretikal, yang mana kerangka ini dibina bersumberkan adaptasi daripada teori kelekatan oleh Bowlby, Distribution of Innovation Theory daripada Rogers, dan juga Reeves and Nass yang membawa kepada teori Media Equation Theory. TDI menjelaskan bagaimana AI companions diterima sebagai inovasi yang serasi dengan mobility moden. Namun, teras emosinya terletak pada teori kelekatan. Apabila hubungan manusia tidak stabil, AI companions hadir sebagai pelindung emosi yang sentiasa tersedia. Ditambah pula dengan Media Equation Theory, MEET, dan juga SPT, Social Presence Theory. Pengguna bukan sekadar berbual dengan kod, tetapi secara psikologi mereka merasakan kehadiran identiti sosial yang nyata hasil daripada simulasi empati yang konsisten, yang mana manusia ataupun pengguna sedar bahawa ianya tidak nyata, tidak wujud, tetapi mereka merasakan kehadiran identiti tersebut hasil daripada maklum balas yang diterima bersifat tersedia dan mudah daripada AI companions. AIFS bukan sekadar penggunaan tegar. Ia adalah satu sindrom di mana berlaku pengalihan keperluan psikologi secara total kepada AI companions. Ciri paling unik ialah persepsi keaslian. Apabila AI companions mampu mengingati butiran peribadi kita, otak kita mula memproses interaksi itu menjadi sebagai satu hubungan yang bermakna secara subjektif. Akhirnya, AI menjadi satu ruang yang selamat, yang tidak akan menghakimi atau menolak, yang tidak perlukan lagi sifat tolak ansur, tetapi menerima, berbeza dengan kerumitan hubungan sesama manusia. Seterusnya kita melihat kepada persoalan penting tentang faktor pendorong di Malaysia. Mengapa fenomena AIFS ini sangat relevan untuk dikaji dalam konteks di Malaysia. Faktor pendorongnya bukan sekadar teknologi, tetapi berakar umbi daripada tekanan budaya dan realiti sosial kita sendiri. Di Malaysia, norma tradisional masih meletakkan perkahwinan sebagai tanda kestabilan dan kematangan hidup. Akibatnya, individu yang belum berkahwin sering berdepan dengan stigma negatif dan tekanan sosial yang hebat, yang mana menurut kajian Fauzia dan Mustafar pada tahun 2019 boleh membawa kepada gangguan emosi yang ketara. Apabila kita melihat dalam data rasmi, trend ini semakin membimbangkan. Sebagaimana rekod daripada Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia melaporkan penurunan kadar perkahwinan sebanyak 12.5% pada tahun 2023. Dengan hampir 45% penduduk Malaysia berstatus bujang, wujud satu lompong emosi yang besar dalam masyarakat urban yang sentiasa sibuk. Dalam situasi inilah AI companions hadir sebagai mekanisme adaptif. AI menawarkan sokongan emosi yang konsisten tanpa risiko penghakiman atau stigma yang biasanya diterima daripada masyarakat. Bagi kebanyakan individu, berinteraksi dengan AI companions adalah jauh lebih selamat secara psikologi berbanding menghadapi tekanan jangkaan sosial yang sukar dipenuhi di dunia nyata. Ini menunjukkan bahawa kebergantungan emosi terhadap AI di Malaysia adalah satu tindak balas terhadap keperluan psikologi yang mendalam dan belum terpenuhi. Apakah harganya untuk satu persahabatan digital? Kita mengenal pasti risiko sosial de-skilling. Apabila kita terbiasa dengan pendamping yang sentiasa memberikan pengesahan tanpa konflik, kemampuan kita untuk berdepan dengan konflik sebenar dalam hubungan manusia maka akan merosot. Sherry Turkles menyifatkan ini sebagai serangan terhadap empati manusia. Dalam jangka panjang, peralihan ke arah keintiman digital ini berisiko mewujudkan generasi yang merasa ditemani tetapi sebenarnya semakin terasing secara sosial. Sebagai kemuncak dalam penulisan ini, kami mencadangkan satu kerangka konseptual yang dinamik sebagaimana yang ditunjukkan pada Raja 3, iaitu ilustrasi hubungan gaya kebergantungan emosi dengan kecerdasan buatan AI. Kerangka ini menunjukkan bahawa i-LEdHS di Malaysia bukan sekadar isu individu tetapi satu kitaran feedback loop budaya. Apabila masyarakat mula menerima AI companion sebagai pengganti teman emosi, norma keintiman kita akan bergeser, seterusnya mengubah jangkaan kita terhadap peranan keluarga dan pasangan. Inilah ekosistem hubungan baharu yang memerlukan pemantauan dan intervensi dasar agar teknologi tidak menghakis nilai kemanusiaan mereka. Sebagai penutup bagi pembentangan saya ini, penulisan kami ini menegaskan bahawa fenomena AI Friendship Syndrome i-LEdHS menandakan satu anjakan besar dalam lanskap hubungan manusia masa kini. Pembentukan ikatan emosi yang mendalam ini bukan sekadar trend teknologi tetapi merupakan maklum balas kepada keperluan emosi yang tidak terpenuhi seperti kesunyian dan kekurangan sokongan sosial yang stabil. Melalui kerangka konseptual yang telah dibangunkan, kami mendapati bahawa interaksi kompleks antara faktor psikologi dan ciri reka bentuk AI telah mewujudkan satu feedback loop budaya di Malaysia. Kitaran ini berisiko mengubah jangkaan interpersonal dan mencabar norma kekeluargaan yang telah lama berakar jika tidak dipantau dengan teliti. Oleh itu, penulisan ini mencadangkan keperluan mendesak bagi pihak berkuasa dan ahli profesional untuk menilai semula kesan teknologi terhadap identiti budaya dan kesejahteraan psikososial masyarakat. Kita memerlukan pendidikan literasi digital yang lebih luas, pembangunan dasar kesihatan mental yang khusus, serta intervensi dasar yang proaktif bagi memastikan integrasi AI dalam masyarakat tidak menghakis nilai komuniti dan hubungan kekeluargaan yang menjadi asas identiti sosial kita. Sekian sahaja daripada saya. Terima kasih atas perhatian anda.
All right, thank you for the presentation. We will now open the floor for the Q&A session. Okay. Again, another question from Ms. Nur Ain. So the question is, may I know what software was used for the thematic analysis?
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you for the question from Puan Nur Ain. Okay, allow me to answer in Malay. Untuk analisis tematik yang saya gunakan dekat sini, to be honest, saya adalah orang tradisional. So, saya menggunakan analisis tematik kualitatif untuk tematik untuk kualitatif saya adalah saya menggunakan secara manual juga. Which is, first of all, kita kan sekarang dengar dalam dunia AI kan. So, kita familiar with Gemini, with Copilot. So, saya akan saya akan bagi prompt untuk Gemini. Sebagai contoh, saya gunakan Gemini untuk list downkan kepada saya artikel daripada Scopus, my site, saya buat inclusion criteria. Scopus, my site was senaraikan kepada saya yang mana yang sahih dan juga bersama dengan DOI. And then dari situ baru saya akan analyze satu persatu untuk keluarkan dia punya tema. Okay. So, jawapan dia adalah saya menggunakan secara manual. Saya prefer manual analysis.
Okay. All right, thank you. Dr. Mahira, allow me to ask another question.
Okay, boleh.
Can I?
Sure.
Okay. So in your opinion, what is one thing people should keep in mind when using AI? In your opinion?
Okay. Apa yang
satu je yang when using AI, apa yang perlu kita hati-hati?
Kena ingat dalam otak kah? Bila kita guna AI, kita kena ingat, AI manusia yang cipta. Kita lebih hebat daripada AI. Kena ingat yang itu. So, jangan biar AI kawal kita, kita yang kawal AI. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mahira. And thank you, Ms. Ain, for the questions. Okay, so now we will now proceed with the next presentation entitled The Language of Visibility, Exploring the Nexus of AI-Driven SEO and Digital Capability on the Business Visibility among Malaysian SMEs. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to all esteemed panel and fellow researcher. I'm Dr. Raimi, and today I would like to present about my study, Language of Visibility, which I explore the nexus of AI-driven SEO that meet human digital capability. And in the context of this conference, this study isn't just about marketing. It's how the language that shape the future of the brand that meet the need of social and technological ecosystem. In the strategy overview, we actually at the crossroad where digital prominence is essential for SME resilience. As you can see, 97.2% of Malaysian SME is actually contribute to the Malaysian economy, but only 30% of them that only have a digital adoption. Thus, another 45% of SME have a cash reserve that only lasts less than 2 months. So this is such a critical barrier to the transformation, and we look to the evolution. Currently, AI-driven SEO is actually replaced the traditional SEO, and there's another barrier such as financial, human capital, and also cognitive. As we look towards to 2026 paradigm shift, digital landscape has changed from traditional SEO to the answer engine. AI platform is no longer care about simple keyword. They actually have an ability to read, understand, and summarize the firm-based offering. And this study introduced the strategic nexus, which explain the AI-driven SEO that meet the digital capability that can lead to the business visibility. In the literature review of this study, I have explored 3 core pillars that define this transformation. First is the strategic nexus, second is language of visibility, and third is big brand bias. Looking to the strategic nexus, by integrating AI, SME can create a path dependent to the digital presence that actually hard or difficult for competitor to copy. And secondly is language of visibility. This unique viewing qualified resource is more than code. It's about semantically that turn into knowledge. And third one is the big brand bias, which is SME can actually bypass this bias into long-term sustainability with AI SEO. In methodology, this study employs conceptual research design grounded in systematic literature review. Firstly, I also find the research from Scopus, Web of Science, with the help of system from Mata UIDM, and I also find the research in the Google Scholar that related to the AI-driven SEO. And secondly, I also execute the research that relate to the resource-based view. And third one, we establish resource capability and outcome. This helped me to analyze how the firm digital capability act as the moderator. And finally, this study goal was to provide theoretical roadmap that bridge the gap of the 30% paradox into the long-term competitiveness in AI-centric market. Moving to the heart of the study, I'm showcasing the framework that I have prepared, and this is conceptual framework that illustrate the nexus of visibility. This conceptual framework is wrote in the RBV, resource-based view, which is explained that AI SEO or GEO is technological resources and digital capability serve as critical moderator that help to lead into the business visibility as the outcome. In the result and discussion, I have organized 5 strategic pillars that leads to the business visibility among the Malaysian SME. As we can see, there's awareness and standardization, whereas the visibility in 2020 is no longer about keyword, but it's actually about synthesizability and incapability and policy base. There is highlight that 30% adoption of the paradox is not caused by the lack of tools, but it actually lacks of the capability. And last one, in the organizational impact, variant is actually protect SME by making firm findable and visible with the help of AI-driven SEO. Before we end to the end of presentation, I would like to share the contribution of this study. This study is actually offering the contribution into the 5 key levels. Firstly is for academia, second one is for government, third one is for economy and national GDP, and fourth one is for SME owner and marketing manager, and last one is for society. For academia, I have introduced the language of visibility framework, bridging the gap between digital literacy and AI search theory. And for government and economy, this study provides a roadmap to the safeguard national GDP by lowering the 45 financial risks that SME face through for the better customer equation. And for SME owner and marketing manager, this framework is great equalizer for them to allowing smaller firms to bypass the big brand buyers and secure authority citation in AI search result. And finally, for society, this promote digital inclusion, ensuring that local Malaysian brand voice has preserved and prioritized in increasingly automated global landscape. In conclusion, language of visibility is not a marketing tactic, but it is a critical mechanism for Malaysian SME. As you can see on the screen, I have concluded 9 strategy action for the SME, from aligning brand ontology into driving technical excellence by mastering the nexus of AI and human skills. Most of the firm and most of the SME can transform from the list of the search into the synthesized answer of the future. And finally, it's come to the end of presentation. Thank you for your attention. And for me, this is the time to ensure our SME remains findable and resilient in an ultimate market and stay visible. Thank you.
All right, okay. Thank you for the presentation. Let's move on to Q&A session. Is there any question? Okay, let me ask a question then. Just now, in the results and discussions, you have provided 5 strategies. So according to you, which one is actually the best strategy for SMEs? It's mute. Ms. Zulaika, we can't hear you. Can you switch on your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So looking forward the strategy.
Mm.
Can you read the question again?
In your own opinion, which one is the best strategy? Just now you provided 5 strategies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So according to you, which one is the best one, best strategy? Or you,
On the result on this and
uh,
discussion. All
uh,
right. Actually, most of SME is not familiar with the SEO. When they heard of SEO, they will afraid to try. Actually, the basic one is the local SEO. Local SEO is represented the Google profile business, Google business profile. If the company itself do the Google profile, it actually help the SEO itself. And to be remembered, AI Google SEO is only happen or success with the help of the traditional SEO, especially the local SEO. So for me, from the 5 strategic pillars, I will choose the awareness. So as many as the firm get existing or give awareness to the audience in all of platform, in actually we have a lot of platform that we can uh, offer atau we can advertise our business such as Facebook, TikTok, and a lot of platform. So as many as we can to give awareness to the person, that will lead to the highest of business visibility on AI overview itself.
okay.
So we need to do as much as awareness as can to lead on business visibility. That's it. Okay,
Agreed.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now let's move on to the next presentation entitled Assessing Accessibility as the Primary Predictor of Reading Habits. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and very good day to respected judges and fellow researchers. My name is Nofitriah binti Mat Seman and today I'm presenting our study titled Assessing Accessibility as the Primary Predictor of Reading Habits. This study was conducted to examine the level of reading habits among students and to identify the key factors influencing their reading engagement in the university library, especially accessibility at Perpustakaan Tengku Anis UiTM Cawangan, Kelantan. So, in producing the quality graduates, library play an important role in supporting the student academic success. Therefore, this study investigate how resources material, learning materials and promotion strategy influence student reading habits. So for the problem statement, according to the library data from the Executive Information System in 2024, the usage of the library material in UiTM library has not reached the expected level, especially at Perpustakaan Tengku Anis. And 4 main issues were identified, which is the first one is the availability of reading material, accessibility of material, underutilization of resources, and lacks of promotion. Even though many resources are available, students still do not read regularly. So there is a gap in understanding how accessibility affect the reading habits. So this study tried to identify whether accessibility is the main factors influence the reading habits among students. Alright, so this is the 3 main research objective and research question. Okay, so for RO1, which is to examine the extent which level the availability of reading material meets the needs of UiTM Cawangan Kelantan student. So for RO2, the studies to extend which the relationship between the accessibility of reading material meets the needs of student UiTM Chongan Kelantan. And lastly is for RO3, which is to identify the factors that contribute of underutilization library material at UiTM Chongan Kelantan. Alright, so for the research question, which is how does availability, accessibility, and underutilization significantly influence reading habits among students? Okay, so this is the literature review, which is the previous study shown that reading habits are influenced by the several factors such as motivation, environments, and access to material. Alright, so however, accessibility is actually often highlighted as an important factor because student needs easy access to reading material to develop their reading habits. Okay, alright, this is the methodology, which is actually this research used a quantitative survey and the data were collected through the Google form. And a total of 408 students from the UiTM Kelantan Macang campus will participate with these studies, and the data were analysed using statistical method such as correlation and regression analysis. So this is finding, which is the finding show that accessibility has a significant relationship with the reading habits. And accessibility also show that the highest correlation with the reading habits. And for the regression analysis, accessibility is the dominant predictor of the student reading habits. This means when students have a better access to reading material, their reading habits will be improved. So accessibility is actually proven to be a stronger predictor in this study, and this is supported by the 131 students will provide open-ended response, which is suggests to improve a better digital access and update resources at the Perpustakaan Tengku Anis. Alright, so for the discussion, alright, the result support the previous studies that highlighted the importance of accessibility, which is student more likely to read when material are ready to access, whether physically or digitally. So this shown that improving accessibility can help improve student reading habits. So in conclusion, the accessibility is play an important role in influencing the reading habits. So these studies confirm that accessibility is the primary predictor, and the institution UiTM Chongan Kelantan should be improve the access to reading material to encourage better reading habits among students. So this recommend that library and the institution itself needs to enhance the accessibility by providing more digital resources and easy access to the material. So that's it from me. Thank you for your attention. I welcome any question.
All right. Okay. So thank you for the interesting video. So any questions from the members of the floor? All right. Allow me to ask a question. Just now you said that accessibility should be improved. So specifically, how can the library improve the accessibility of the materials?
Okay, thank you for the question. So actually, basically, the accessibility of the library resources, we already been done all the promotion. Okay, so every single product or new services that we offer, we already been emailed to all the student, all the staff. So actually, that process is not still enough, and then so students, since that our resources is not enough to be in accessibility lah. Okay, so then Actually in the Perpustakaan Tengku Anis itself, we do some activities that promote all the services through in creative way, which is not only they come to the library and borrow the books, okay, and then we also teach them physically how to access the our physical collection and also our digital collection. So we also do some quizzes, which is competition for them. If let's say we have like a carnival ilmu, and then one of the activities too is including how they can access the our collection, whether physically or digitally.
I see. Okay, interesting. Thank you. Okay, so now we have come to our last presentation for today. Let's watch a video from Mr. Muhammad Azim Zaid with the title Exploring the Challenges of Podcasting at the Malaysia National News Agency, Bernama. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Azim Zaid and my co-author is Siti Maisarah Abdul Ghani. For your information, both of us are coming from the Faculty of Communication and Media Study, University Teknologi Mara, UiTM Shah Alam. So today I would like to present our paper is regarding exploring the challenges of podcasting at the Malaysia National News Agency Bernama itself. So check it out for your information. So basically, when you talk about the shift toward digital audio itself, global landscape, we having around 3 million broadcasts globally and reaching of 460 million listener, driven by an on-demand generation seeking authenticity. And also in Malaysia itself, we have over 3 million regular broadcast listener in Malaysia. And for information, not only one, two, or media company also doing podcast, but also we have influencer artists, and also some of them are doing podcasting. They raise up on certain issue and viral issue and discussing on certain topic, then favorite for young generation. And also for information, under one roof is an podcast is under bernama, we call it Hidup Ini Keras. Under Hidup Ini Keras, they are talking and also discussing on certain issue and also more towards human interest story. So let me show you the difference between the stage private, between broadcast narrative and hard news broadcasting. So I'm focusing on more towards broadcast narrative in Hidup Ini Keras. Hidup Ini Keras is the branding of podcast in Bernama. So basically in podcast in Bernama itself, they're on demand, timeless and expression of the themes. Is under Hidup Ini Keras, they have different topic every week and they're focusing on certain issues such as viral issue. They're focusing on experience of other people, and also maybe somehow they're focusing on a certain issue. Okay, they are highlighting on certain issue that people want to know during that time. And also this is what we are looking for podcast narrative, basically, whereby in hard news broadcasting there are 24 hours news cycle, but podcast in Bernam itself, every week they have putting a slot, one slot every week, whereby in this Tuesday, whereby they are talking about podcast narrative. It's talking about their upload and also make people want to hear the background of the experience of this person, and also when talking about the issues they highlighted. And also when talking about that itself, we are focusing on person resilience, mental health, and human interest experience. And this is what we're looking forward, because nowadays young generation and millennial generation, we love to listen something that near to us. They are focusing on mental health and also human interest experience, because this is kind of person, this is a story that people love to hear, and also they are near to them. And also for information, that is a topic that I think should be raised up and also should be highlighted, because Panama itself are different compared to other podcasting. We're gonna do it later on. I'm going to elaborate regarding that. And also the tone of a podcast is whereby they are very intimate and unscripted and also conversational. They are very politely. They doesn't have any screaming, doesn't have any call that. We are respecting maybe the guest itself, the topic, because we need to be because it's talking about the issues and so on. So that's why we don't want to call bash, or we don't want to make it shame, and because we are respecting other people also, and also we take the ultimate goal for a podcast in bernama, because we want to have emotional listener loyalty itself, because this is issue sometimes not be highlighted on certain people, and that is why we love the bernama love to highlight on that things particularly. So this is basically some of the challenge that has been faced by Bernama. For the first of all, Bernama have millions of competing podcasts reliance on the algorithm and tradition, because of Bernama still new, still in 2024. So to make sure that they existed in terms of podcasting world, they are very difficult, because of you need to have an algorithm and tradition, and some of them need to follow and keep it up with the trend itself. So because they are talking about certain issue, and also commenting, and maybe some of the podcaster itself, they are only focusing on certain subject, so that's why they have their own listener. Okay, that is why we have to discoverability, because we need to compete with others, because right now you not only news media agency, you have a lot, and somehow maybe you are nobody in social media itself, because you are doing or podcasting, and also you are invited, and also you are raised up on certain issue. Do you have your own listener, you have your loyal listener itself, and also when talking about audience loyalty, the listener sometimes when we're talking about the issue, the bernama itself, they're having active engagement, because bernama what happened was they love, or they, yeah, under the hidup ini keras itself, they have a lot of topic. Okay, they have, okay, this week they are talking about human experience. This week they are talking about um call that homeless. This week we're talking about certain people. Next we're talking about viral or trend. So they have under one roof itself, bernama have different topic and different theme. And this is one of the challenge, because when talking about, no, we're talking about the podcasting in the podcaster, because they are talking about ghosting. Only every week they are talking about ghosting itself. We are talking about love story. So every week they are talking about love story. So they have their own identity. But in Bernama itself, even though they are under one roof in hidup ini keras, but they have different topic every week. So that is maybe of difficulty or challenge that has been amended by the Bernama itself. And also other than that, they have been regulatory risk, because it's under of Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, because of some, you are talking about issue of 3R. So during that time we need to protect and to make sure that certain people are not talking that beyond the limit, and also high production cost, they require 3,000 to 5,000, because in market whereby the audience aspect needs news to be free, because of we are focusing maybe it's free, but for you, for information, it taking, they have the high production cost in talking about that things. So basically, so qualitative funnel, we have the century contest. We are selecting Bernama because it's balancing official duties with modern format as a government-owned agency, whereby we know that Bernama has been under of Ministry of Communication, and they have how as a government agency do podcast, because right now we can see that other people like uh, called the influencer doing podcasts and so on. But in Bernama itself, they have their duty to report, and they have their duty limitation regarding that. And this is what we want to see. The Bernama has been selected as our informant for these particular issues and also particular paper. And also we are talking about digital target, whereby Hidup Ni Keras is umbrella brand and is weekly recurrent series, because and they have their own topic, they have their own platform. This is what we want to see. And during that time we have interview with the primary producer and also creative leader for the Bernama, and also the scientists by directly coding via in vivo and software, and conceptualized by cross-platform view count itself. So basically, when we're talking about the challenge that has been faced for Bernama, The first one is the discoverability dilemma, whereby they want to engage, we get engaged, they want to be highlighted by other people, they want to be pop out, standing out as a new player in market of media itself. So this is what they're having do, but still not getting enough engagement. Some of them is to YouTube short, Facebook clips, Instagram reels, and big number of platform. So this is one of the reason, and also based on the informants stated that to ensure the podcast reach a wider audience, we post teaser and across many platform and not just on a single page. This is why even though they have all media platform in their own, but somehow they're still not getting engaged, and they still get only like doesn't have any viewers towards their podcast. So this is the to show the main challenge for them, and because they want to they want to see the discoverability of them towards others, and especially in Malaysia itself, because they want to not famous, but this can see that we have a lot of influencer doing the podcast, so they want to see, they want to pop out, standing out from others is quite big challenge for them itself. So basically, to make sure that they have the challenge, one of the other challenge whereby they want to make sure the listener getting a loyal listener. So this is one of the challenge that there has been, because why? For information, based on the information stated that we invite great guests with inspiring story, yet there are times when an episode doesn't even reach 200 viewers. So this is what they're having problem, because you invited a lot of people, like some prominent people, VVIP, VIP, and so on, but still doesn't getting a lot of engagement. So this is how the problem they want to do. They're having face on because of guest interest and also host brand of the parasocial bond, because the stable relationship require for consistent views. So that is why one of the they're having on problems, because they need to at least every week they have their own topic, they have their own issue that need to be raised up during that time. This is one of the problem that they're having challenge for them itself. So other than that, based on like the commercial scams, whereby for information the commercial availability, even though they see the potential for this Hidup Keras podcast being commercialized, but so far that even the first episode and that a few episodes have been that doesn't have any comprehensive follow up or large scale, because why? Maybe one of the thing, this is the challenge that has been faced over Nama itself. um Maybe they are not very informal, maybe they are formal, and also getting engaged with other people is little bit difficult for them to survive. Because why? Because we can see that even the topic that has been raised up, that they are the topic itself are very good, but to make sure that they have follow up, and also to getting a slot, getting being sponsored by, this a little bit difficult for them itself. Because of Bernama is under of Ministry of Communication, the challenge that has been faced is managing the information risk of informal audio formal with a statutory government body. Because why? Maybe we already stated to do to the we already mentioned to the audience itself that you need to behave yourself, not raise up issue of 3R and so on. But and also but based on the information stated that before we everybody they already brief or invited guests, and also must follow to avoid discussion on sensitive issue and so on. But somehow we can't control our guests. Maybe we can't control our guests, but the topic itself are very widely and also very very controversial. So that is why we already stated to them, but we can't control them. So this is one of the thing that challenged by the program itself. You need to listen it back again. So this is one of them, the gatekeeper filter. So because we want to like condemn, or we want to like, raise up a sensitive issue, so that is one of the thing that challenged by Bernama in in doing the podcast itself. So basically, this is the four paradox institutional broadcasting. First one is intimate but institutional, try to build up deeply personal and parasocial bonds while operating under strict government agency mandates. And also, next is investing to 3,000 to 5,000 per click per insert in premium production, only to see inconsistent engagement, and also accessible but invisible, whereby publishing across multiple open platform, yet remaining heavily operated by global algorithm situation, and also unscripted but gated, maybe adopting a casual conversation is heavily filtered through pre-recording to avoid regulatory risk. So this is one of the things that we can suggest to them, and also getting them covered improvement towards others. So the future frequency whereby the Hedonic Class initiative proved that public service broadcaster can remain influential in hybrid media landscape, and also by shifting from rapid objective reporting to highlight personal resilience, traditional agency can reintroduce the most vital element of digital journalism is whereby the human connection. So therefore, I can see that Bernama podcast are become relevant, and they have the potential to be succeed, but maybe we need to emphasize on certain things and to make sure to help them to getting more engagement towards others. That is one of the challenge they have facing every week, to make sure that they're getting a lot of viewers, listeners, and also engagement to others. So that's all for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the interesting presentation. Any questions? Okay, allow me to ask a question. Mr. Mamazin, in your opinion, what is the most difficult challenge of podcasting?
When we are talking about podcasting itself, coming from as a media practitioner before for 11 years, so giving me opportunity to understand what is actually the media and how it works. Compared to other media organization itself, they have their own platform, they have their own way to cover on podcasting. The most important and the most challenge is getting engagement. Okay, coming from Bernama itself, Bernama is originally we know as under of Ministry of Communication. So it's not their podcasting is not their main income, and also not the main thing that are offered to media organization compared to other media organizations such as Berita Harian, Utusan Malaysia. They have their own podcasting whereby they have certain issue that they are uprise or they are highlight on, such as Berita Harian. They are talking about entertainment, their interview with a certain artist and so on. But compared in Bernama itself, to get engagement with a several person, and their interview with a sport person are from coming from different background, such as previously their interview and podcast with the chief police, they are talking about someone influencer and so on. So to get the engagement is little bit difficult for a certain media. So for me, when we are talking about the challenge, is engagement, because you are competing with other influencers, such as like we know right now we have Hasman Huze, we have this Zara Umbrella, whereby they have their own niche. Okay, that is why we need to get a engagement from other people. It's so difficult right now because we have a lot, and to get like you to be sustained in the industry right now, we can see that most of us are not watching television. We are more towards digital media itself. I think that most of us are not watching television anymore. We are focusing on digital. So that is why podcasting become one of the thing that people listen, whereby they are putting in YouTube, and also the one is Spotify. So that is what we are looking for, whereby the main challenge is engagement.
I see. All right. Thank you for the insights. Okay, so I think we have now come to the end of our parallel session. Before we end our session, let me remind you, the technical team has already shared the attendance form in the chat box. So please make sure you guys fill in the attendance form before we end our session today. Okay, so another thing to add before we end, let's take a photo session. Let's have a photo session before we end our session today, so that we have some evidence that we are here today. So can you guys please keep your camera on before the technical team snap our photo together? Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, all right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all presenters, judges and participants for your active participation and valuable contributions. Thank you and have a pleasant day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.